Have you ever felt like you've been praying, waiting, and hoping for things to change, but nothing seems to be happening? Maybe you've been carrying a burden for months. Maybe you've been asking God for answers. And if that's where you are today, this message may be exactly what your heart needs to hear, because God is still working in your life. The difficult part is that God's work is not always visible. Sometimes we expect immediate answers, immediate healing, immediate breakthroughs, but often God is working in ways we cannot yet see. Isaiah 55 says, "Greater than, my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways." And that means God may be doing more behind the scenes than you realize right now. Maybe while you are waiting, God is preparing something. Maybe while you are worrying, God is strengthening your faith. And maybe while you feel forgotten, God is actually closer than you think. So before we continue, take a deep breath and remember, a delay is not the same as a denial. And maybe that's the part many people struggle to accept, because waiting can feel uncomfortable, especially when you're praying about something important, a family situation, a health concern, a financial burden. You pray, you hope, you wait. And sometimes the silence makes you wonder if God is listening at all. But silence does not mean absence. Throughout Scripture, God often worked during seasons of waiting. Joseph waited, David waited, Abraham waited. And while they could not see everything God was doing in the moment, He was still moving every piece into place. The same God who guided them is still working today, and He has not stopped working in your life either. Romans 8 says, "In all things God works for the good of those who love Him, not some things, all things." Even the difficult seasons, even the unanswered questions, even the moments that make no sense right now, because God can use today's struggle to prepare tomorrow's blessing. And if you're listening right now feeling discouraged, I want you to think about all the times in your life when God carried you through something you thought would break you. There were seasons you didn't think you would survive, moments filled with uncertainty, moments filled with fear. Yet somehow, step by step, you made it through, not because life was easy, but because God never stopped sustaining you. Maybe that's what you need to remember today. The same God who was faithful then is faithful now. The same God who opened doors before can open doors again. The same God who gave you strength during past battles can give you strength for the one you're facing today. His power has not changed. His promises have not changed. So instead of focusing only on what hasn't happened yet, take a moment to recognize what God has already done. The prayers He has answered, the protection He has given, the strength He has provided, because gratitude has a way of reminding the heart that God has been working all along, even when we failed to notice it. Maybe the most important thing to remember is this: your current situation is not the whole story. What you see today is only one chapter, and God often does some of His greatest work in chapters that feel uncertain, difficult, and unfinished. So don't judge the ending based on where you are right now, because the truth is, many people give up emotionally just before they see what God was preparing all along. They become discouraged by the waiting, discouraged by the setbacks, discouraged by what hasn't happened yet. But faith means trusting that God is still working, even when evidence seems hard to find. And perhaps that's why you're hearing this message today, not by accident, but as a reminder that God has not forgotten your prayers, He has not forgotten your tears, and He has certainly not forgotten you. So hold on a little longer. Keep believing, keep trusting, because God's work in your life may be far from finished. So before this message ends, take a moment and release whatever burden you've been carrying into God's hands. The worry, the uncertainty, the unanswered questions that keep returning to your mind. You do not have to carry them all by yourself. God sees what others cannot see, and He understands every struggle hidden inside your heart. Isaiah 41 says, "Greater than, do not fear, for I am with you." Those words are just as true today as they have ever been. So walk forward with peace, not because every problem has disappeared, but because God is walking with you through every step ahead. His timing is perfect, His faithfulness remains unchanged, and His plans for your life are still unfolding. And if you remember only one thing from this message, let it be this: God is still working in your life. Even when you cannot see it, even when you do not understand it, even when the waiting feels long, keep praying, keep trusting, keep moving forward in faith, because the story God is writing for your life is not over yet, and some of the most beautiful chapters may still be ahead. God bless you,